Shalom Aleichem, everybody. It's Erev Shabbos, Parshas Ki Savo. I saw a beautiful, beautiful idea in the parsha I wanted to share with everyone. I shared it with the Yeshiva this afternoon. I couldn't resist, and I wanted to share it with you as well. The Torah opens up with a description of the mitzvah of Bikurim, that the Jewish people, when they go ahead and have land in Eretz Yisrael, they bring of their first fruit, and they bring it to the Mizbeach, to Yerushalayim, to the Kohen, as a korban ala Mizbeach. And the Mishnayos in Maseches Bikurim describe that there would be sometimes a difference between wealthy people who would bring their fruit up to Yerushalayim and those that were poor. And the Mishnah in Maseches Bikurim, Perek Gimel Mishnah Ches, tells that when the Ashirim, the wealthy, would bring their Bikurim up to the Beis HaMikdash, they would take their choice of fruit and put it inside very, very fancy vessels, golden vessels. And they have gold and silver vessels, they would bring that up to Yerushalayim. The Aniyim, on the other hand, the poor people, they would take their first fruit and they would have these very simplistic wicker baskets. And the Mishnah describes that when it comes to the baskets themselves, so the Kohen would accept and take the baskets of the Aniyim with the fruit and not return to the Aniyim, whereas the baskets, the golden vessels of the Ashirim, the wealthy people, those the Kohanim gave and returned back to the Kohen. And the question is, why? Why are we taking these wicker, simplistic baskets? The Kohen accepts those, and he does not accept the fancy golden vessels of the Ashirim. So the Malbim explains very, very beautifully that there's a fundamental difference between the Ashir and the Ani with respect to their vessels. When it comes to the Ashir, so what did he do to get that golden vessel? He took some money out of his bank, and he purchased it. Very nice, but there was no toil, no effort, no personal investment in the purchasing of that vessel. In contrast, the Ani who has that wicker basket, he went ahead and made that basket by himself. He invested himself in the basket, did the best he could with a tremendous amount of effort in bringing a reasonable vessel to go ahead and bring his Bikurim into Yerushalayim. Says the Malbim that the basket of the Ani becomes part of the korban, because at the end of the day, it's not the result that really matters. It's the effort that we put in, the exertion, the energy that we invest of ourselves into every single mitzvah that we do. And therefore, yes, the peiros are certainly part of the cheftza of mitzvah, of the mitzvah Bikurim. But for the Ani, the vessel itself is part of the korban. Why? Because he was personally invested in that vessel, in the creation of that vessel, and Hashem says via the Kohen, that too I accept as your korban. When it comes to the wealthy, so all he did, not a small thing, but all he did is he took money out of his bank account and purchased a fancy vessel. So that was not a personal investment into production of the vessel, and therefore it is not part of the korban. It's a very fundamental musar, because people are gifted with different talents, different capabilities. For some people, for example, learning is very, very difficult. For others, it comes very, very easily because of their intellectual acumen. And perhaps this Malbim tells us a very big yesod. And that yesod is that sometimes you're gifted with a special talent, but it doesn't require much effort for you to achieve. It's not the same as someone who toils and works hard, is personally invested, even if he only learned one daf, one page, one pasuk. But if it took a tremendous amount of exertion, so it's the exertion, Rachmana Liba Boy, Hashem wants the heart. Fundamental idea that permeates all aspects of Avodas Hashem. It's not just the results, but it's the effort, the process, and hence the Ani's vessel is dear to Hashem because of his personal investment in creating it, unlike that of the Ashir. A lesson, certainly, as we go ahead 2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, as we think about the Yemei Hadin, so they should come to us, Haba Aleinu L'Tova, is to go ahead and understand, L'fum Tzara Agra, the effort that we put into everything that we do is so, so critical. Have a beautiful and wonderful Shabbos.